Over the last decade, the definition of freelancer has changed. It's not what it means anymore. We're entering a new era of work. Now freelancers are business owners, and the term we landed on is freelancer, and it's people that are using the tenets of freelancing to build an entrepreneurial effort. Here's the beauty of freelancing. It's choose your own adventure. Like if you feel trapped, it's permissionless. If you don't like what's happening in your business, take the weekend and figure out what's going wrong and then fix it.
After today's conversation on the Unbreakable Business podcast, the term freelancer will have a whole new meaning. We're joined by Jamie Brindle, who went from being a solo freelancer to mentoring thousands on how to build a business that doesn't just survive gig to gig, but actually scales. In this episode, Jamie gets real about how the landscape of freelancing has changed, how building his offer in public has led to success, the content strategy he is using to grow, and the biggest thing freelancers are missing out on that could change the trajectory of their business. If you've ever felt stuck in that freelancing grind, this episode is going to help you change that and show you exactly what's possible. Now let's get into the episode. Hello, Jamie. How we doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for coming by the Unbreakable Business podcast. Super happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. You have a really interesting journey as a business owner, and you have now taken the word freelancer into a whole new meaning. You created the term freelancer.
Indeed.
Okay. So I want to know what was going on in the industry that made you realize that freelancing just needed a whole new definition.
I'm so excited to talk about this. There is, and for the people watching, there's a bunch of creative people in this room too. So I'm interested if I see heads nodding when I'm talking about this. But over the last, I'd say decade, the definition of freelancer has changed. It's not what it means anymore. It's become something greater than it is. I think we're entering by 2027. I think the United States alone is going to be a majority freelance workforce. So we're entering a new era of work where people, it's not just gun for hire, sit at this desk, do the things I tell you to do, or hey, we need somebody to come in for 2 weeks and manage our file cabinets or run this design initiative or what have you. Now freelancers are business owners, and they have diverse revenue pies, and they have they put 50% of their day into business development, and it's like it's not just a creative mercenary or it doesn't even have to be creative, and that the lack of a definition of what freelancer has become was starting to become an issue. Mm-hmm. And so I'm blessed to have conversations with thousands of freelancers every month online. And we talk a lot about, where this is headed and what the future of this is. And the term we landed on is freelancer, and it's people that are using the tenets of freelancing to build an entrepreneurial effort, right? So it's a lot easier to rent your expertise to build that entrepreneurial effort than it is to go, raise seed capital or find, so it's like, it's a lot easier to just, knock a couple VSLs out of the park for your clients to fund your entrepreneurial effort, right? And then bring on some subcontractors and bring on, than it is to go take investment from a bank. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we are now. And, entrelancers are probably, it's first blood drawn on this new era of work. It's this workforce 3.0, right? Where we're calling it the permissionless era of work, where up until this moment, there are a couple very important things needed to happen, with technology and with the way that humans interact with one another. But up until this moment, if you wanted to double your income next year or this year, you'd have to ask somebody's permission to do that, right? Or if you wanted to chase down a new idea or a new way of doing things, you'd have to ask somebody's permission for that. Or if you wanted to take 3 months off and go visit a different country, you'd have to ask somebody's permission to do that. No longer is that the case, right? We now have the tools. Every single human being has the tools available to them to lead a permissionless existence in their career. And so it's something we're really excited about, just talking about as often as I can, but also just, leading as many people to this promised land as possible. And I think a lot of folks with 9-to-5s, not to pit us against them or anything, but a lot of folks with 9-to-5s are reaching out to me on social and going, this is interesting, because it is. I think we're seeing entire business entities now crop up that are entirely freelancers. Yes. I mean, I came up in the video world, and most of my clients were agency owners. And, circa 5 years ago, all of them started being almost entirely freelance operations, because then they can flex their team in either direction, depending on the needs of the quarter.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see that start metastasizing across all industries, not just creative industries, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah. I mean, you just summed it up so perfectly. I mean, it's true. Like, I even think of my own business journey when I first started out, and I started off as a freelancer, like not really knowing what it was going to be. But then as I grew, I was like, okay, well, I kind of want to lean more into strategy and building offers, and, then having those different multiple streams of revenue. Then I was like, oh, I'm actually like a business owner. And
right.
This is now the title that I want to go to. And I love that you shared that, because usually like I started off with like working with bigger companies that just needed a seat to fill as a freelancer. So, just do the work and go home. But it turned into something so much more than that. And to your point, I think a lot of business owners are finding them in this kind of the space. And so I'm really interested for you, when did you realize like, okay, I'm no longer a freelancer, like I'm an entrelancer? When did you notice that moment even for yourself?
That's an interesting question. I mean, obviously I didn't have the words to describe it, but it would probably be the moment that I first hired another freelancer to take something off my plate. Mm-hmm. And I remember vividly, I was at my girlfriend at the time, now wife and business partner. I was at her boss's wedding in Palm Springs. I couldn't get away from it, obviously. Yeah. But client needed something delivered. It was an animation. And so we hired a gentleman to take care of the animation for me. We charged accordingly. And I was standing in the hotel room, in half a suit, got the email with the first draft, hit forward, sent it to the client. And I was like, I just made $8,000, mm-hmm. Just for sending an email. Mm-hmm. And I realized, okay, let's pop the hood on that and see if we can't replicate that phenomenon a little more often. And what does that business need to look like, right? And so it's like, okay, cool. Well, now I have to start thinking about, lead generation in it. Because when you're working with subcontractors, you now have two clients.
Yes.
So it's like the product that you're selling your client, which you're used to doing, but then your subcontractors getting a service out of you as well. They didn't have to land the gig. They don't have to handle account management. They didn't have to negotiate. They don't have to write the contract, all that. So proceeding with all that in mind was fresh and exciting for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think, again, to your point of just how freelancing has really shaped, and how you've even seen it for yourself, of adding somebody, like starting to build that team, starting to slowly but surely scale, and just seeing how easy it is to truly, how delegation can really like start to lead to bigger revenue in your business. And one thing one of the main reasons all the time that business owners always say is like, we want more time, we want more freedom. But then we take the leap. And I don't care what season of business that you've been in, like we all kind of find ourselves almost trapped in a way. Do you kind of know what I mean? Do you find yourself sometimes with that of like, we want more freedom, but then we end up kind of trapped within our business, whether that be time or, and of course there's always seasons of hustle. Yeah. But I've talked to business owners where like they feel trapped in their business. They feel resentment in that way where like offers aren't aligning, sales aren't being made. And have you ever kind of experienced that? And if so, like how have you worked through that?
Here's the beauty of freelancing. It's choose your own adventure. Like if you feel trapped, like do something. Like change what's going on. Mm-hmm. Like it's not, again, it's permissionless. Like if you don't like what's happening in your business, take the weekend and figure out what's going wrong and then fix it, Like, I know that's an oversimplification, obviously, but like sometimes
that's the answer is very simple. Yes.
It's true. Like, if the offer that, you find yourself delivering for clients is something that you no longer want to do, cool. What do you want to do? Yeah. What's the new offer, right? As long as it solves a painful, costly problem for another individual, you're going to do just fine, right?
Yeah.
Like, let that be your North Star. Start with a solution in mind, reverse engineer the offer from there. And you can play that trick as many times as you want throughout an entire career.
Yeah.
You know? So I think like anytime somebody that comes to me with expressing that type of a relationship with their business, it's just, okay, well, like, what don't you like about it? Cool, don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
You like pointed out something of like, again, that permissionless. And I think a lot of us, we have to almost, we have to unlearn that as business owners because we're so used. It's honestly to just like a society as a whole that we feel like we have to have permission to do things. And it's something like, where to your point, the answer is usually right in front of us and the answer is always usually pretty simple. Yeah. And so even you saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. I could.
What if you don't want to do it? Don't do it.
Then don't do it. But we always feel like we have to do it, right? We sometimes feel like, okay, like I have gone down this road, I can't pivot. Or, we get in our head all the time. And so like, it is an oversimplification, but like that it's truly as simple. Like you don't have to make a big shift. You can just make little changes today that can like have a major impact. Yeah.
A big one is that I think because we are all intelligent beings, like I think, and we, we want to be building something and we're always optimizing. And, I think that is a common trap is you get in your head and you're like, oh, I don't know, like, and there's a lot of overthinking that goes on. And I've just found that it's not, I think, therefore I am. It's I am, therefore I think. Thoughts will follow your behavior.
Yes.
Not the other way around. So if you want something to happen differently, do it and your mind will catch up.
Yes.
So start behaving like the person that does the thing that you want to do. And the thoughts that are saying, hold on a second, like eventually they're going to be like, oh, we just don't give a shit. Cool. This is what we're doing now, because it's like your thoughts are there to serve you.
Yeah.
And whether it feels like it or not, right? Like because sometimes they're tyrannical, but that's because you've allowed them. You've said, by reinforcing, you've said, yes, I am interested in these thoughts.
Yes.
And so if you just start behaving like that's not something that you want to entertain, it'll catch up pretty quickly.
One thing, like fake it till you make it. Like I'm always like,
okay, cool. All right, well, we're only entertaining thoughts about this now. Got it. Cool. So I'm going to serve those up to you now.
Yeah, and even to add to that, like even for myself, like I have like written down my goals like for my business, and I always say like, okay, well, you are somebody that's already have these things. Like, how would this type of Akua act? What I always say, like, so even with my decisions, that's like, okay, this is how, if I had this is how I would behave. So these are the decisions that I'm going to make. And I feel just so much more confident. And it also takes that overthinking, that perfectionism where it's like, okay, this specific type of Akua truly does not care. We're just going to hop in and like, let's just see what goes. And it just makes things so much more quicker to be able to see the results where you're like, why didn't I think of that before? Yeah. Like it's wild. And I love that you shared that because I think that's such a key thing. One thing I really want to ask you that I'm really curious about is, especially as freelancers transitioning into business owners, we're building out our offers. And one thing I loved about you was that you built your offer in public, which that's something that we need to be doing more as business owners. I think a lot of times when we're either building a course or whatever, a new offer, we always have the tendency just naturally to build in private. And then when you market it, launch your product, launch your offer, and you don't see results, like, we can't keep having the expectations of people like just buy from me, but like you have brought your people along your journey of building your product. Can you share with us like what that process looked like? How did that go for you in terms of like ROI in your business? Like, did you see a big impact building it that way, like more so in public with your community? Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't have a canned response for that. That's okay.
That's a good one. I don't think I've ever been asked that question.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, admittedly, I don't think we sat down and had a meeting that said, let's build this in public.
Yeah.
So it happened a little more organically than that. But post-gaming it, our first product was an ebook. We wrote an ebook for freelancers that were in year one of their business. And it's just kind of people were asking us for something and we had to I was like, I'll write this thing and, help people out. And the tools of social media did their thing where it's just like, oh man, like I really, what angle do I want to take on proposals? I wish I could poll a couple 100,000 freelancers right now for their take. Oh, I guess I can do that.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, what do I want to, And so, all of that happened organically, and come launch time, that was a revelatory 2 weeks in our business, because it was our first time selling a product. We were we're freelancers. Like we're video people.
Yeah.
It's like we sell videos. Like we sell service. So it was fascinating watching that happen. And what a success that first book was. And then when it came time to launch the freelancing program, we knew better. We said, okay, cool. We took a look at the successes and failures of the ebook launch. Because we're big fans of letting the data be your guide, and the data tells the story, and we quintupled down on what worked and just scrap what didn't. And one of the things that worked was, build in public, get them involved.
Yeah.
I think when anybody gets involved in a process, they take a little ownership of it, and they want to see it do well. And that's something I noticed too with our service-based business. Like a lot of freelancers will punt the proposal and budget to email usually out of fear of not wanting to deal with the budget and the rejection conversation, and objections. But I found over the years that walking a potential client through that process, through the proposal process, does the same thing. Whereas now they're building the proposal with me. You know? And it's also, it's a thinly veiled way to get me out of the fact that I'm a shitty graphic designer and terrible with PowerPoint, rather than make a proposal, let's just have a conversation. But that journey with the client, suddenly my conversion rates went up, right? And it's like when I stopped sending a PDF and started just saying, after the sales call, okay, I'm going to put some thoughts together, and then we're going to reconvene on Thursday and hash it out. And that's going to be, and so, they're going to give me the answers to the test. I'm not going to make a proposal. We're going to do it together. So it was the same. It was the, and obviously, it was hindsight here, but like, it was the same process. It was just doing it with a product where, it's okay. What do you guys want? What do you guys need? Let's build that. What are you interested in? Let's build that, and then everybody's got ownership and everybody feels excited about it.
Yeah. So. I love that. Like, again, like your audience feels some type of ownership. And when you are ready to launch, people are excited. People are like, yes, I know this person. I trust this person. This is who I want to invest in. Yeah. And I love too that you've also leveraged that same strategy in all aspects of your business. Like even having a follow-up call after a sales call. Like I think a lot of us naturally are just like, okay, sales call, we send the proposal and they ghost and we follow up by email and we're following up, you know what I mean? And I think even just that intentionality that you're offering really takes you far. And I think it's those like small tweaks that business owners can make in their systems and, their whole processes that can truly like propel their business forward.
Absolutely. I mean, we're in a people business.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you're a service provider, you're in a people business and people hire people. Like it just comes down to, I mean, automation tools are great. Like everything that you can do to help set this up, like set the stage is fantastic. But at the end of the day, the person that gets the gig is going to be the person that shows up on the call. It's not, I say it all the time. It's the best communicator gets the job, not the best practitioner. And thank God for that, because I guarantee you I've never been the best one up for the job.
Yes, yeah.
But I am deadly in a room. I know that. Like I've got that. If I can get in a room with you and endear myself to you, and we talk about your success metrics, how you're measuring success for this project, and we talk about, what are some of the obstacles we're trying to avoid? Have you done this before? What do you want to try and replicate? What do you want to try to avoid this time? Have you never done this before? What are you concerned about? Let's hash it out. Here's a budget. Is that about what you got set aside for this? No? Cool. Let's figure out a version of this idea that works for what you got. Like all of that happens in person. You just can't do it on an email.
No.
You can try. But I think a lot of people will see, that at the end of the day, they're not going to be getting as many yeses as they would like to be getting.
Yeah. You had a TikTok post, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but I literally saw it yesterday and I was like, oh, that's like really good. Where it was something along the lines of, you don't have to be at the best in something. You just have to be the best known or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is kind of like similarly to what you're talking about of like I think that's where we always feel like as business owners that we have to consume, we have to be better. We have to consume and in our skills and be the best at it. But that's just not necessarily the case at all. And I think that totally speaks out of like leaning more into the strength of the things that you're good at. How can you show up? How can you make those connections?
Yeah.
And that just reminded me of that. So,
well, luckily for all of us, social media exists, right? Like it's like this thing that like our forebears did not have accessible to them. And like, I started my business just before it. So it's like, I had a little glimpse of that world, like going door to door in strip malls, asking if they needed a commercial and stuff like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, like the premise of, I forget the piece of content you're referencing, but I would assume that the premise there is, it's networking. Again, back to it being a people business. And the way, like, I mean, put yourself in, the clients, say you're hiring, you person watching are hiring somebody to do something very important for your job, right? Or for life, what have you.
Yeah.
It's a do or die situation. How do you hire that person? What's the process you go through? The first thing you do is you go, okay, who do I know that I could trust to do this for me, right? That's step one. Who do I know? And if you come up empty there, what's step two? Who in my circle knows somebody? Who do I know that knows somebody that would recommend to handle this for me? Only after you come up short in both of those stages do you then go to the internet and ask Google who it knows, or ask LinkedIn who it knows that can solve this, right? So many freelancers are competing over scraps on the third stage. It's already made it through the gauntlet of who do I know, who do you know, and there's the 20% left over on Google or Facebook or what have you, and they're competing poorly for that 20 or 30%. But when they get there, you do want to be, you want to be the last person that they saw on LinkedIn that is talking about solving this problem. When it comes time for them to find the solution to this problem, they go, that person, that chick I saw, 2 weeks ago was talking about this. I'm going to, let me see if I can remember who this person is. So that's what you're optimizing for basically is the first two stages there, build that network. And then if you are, if you do still want to play in stage 3 and play the social media game, it's, you got to be consistently talking about,
what you do repeatedly,
what problem you solve specifically. Because it is, I think that's the other trap is, a videographer will post, their awesome work. And it's like, it's not what it's there for. Like, any algorithm on social media exists for the single purpose of selling ads, right? It's if it doesn't care if you're making videos pointing to text. It doesn't care it doesn't care what you're doing to help it keep people on the platform. And if you're making content for your clients that is so valuable that they will either share it with somebody else to bring them onto the platform to sell ads to, or save it to come back to the platform to continue being sold ads to, the algorithm's going to love you. Right? Now, what does your cool thing that you did last weekend, who's going to save or share that? Nobody, right? That doesn't play the game of social media. So you've got to play the game and think, what piece of content could I put out today that one of my clients would save or share? And then play that game every day.
One thing in terms of content right now, what I'm seeing on social is just a lot of the conversations, it's no longer the same anymore of like 3 tips to help you with XYZ, right? Like I think we've had to be a lot more just deeper, more innovative, more creative. And I know a lot of people are kind of burned out with socials. And in terms of you and your content strategy, what have you been seeing success with, especially this year, that's like really like driven revenue in your business?
We think of our content the same way that you would think of a sales funnel, top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel, right? So it's like, are we going for reach with this piece of content? Are we nurturing with this piece of content, or are we selling with this piece of content? And we enter seasons where it's like, we got to beef up restock the audiences. It's like, we're going full reach for the next 3 months, and if you're optimizing for reach, it's entertainment, right? It's you've got to go broad, figure out how to convey the information in a skit, get really clever with your hooks, right? Like these people have no idea who you are. and you've got to hijack their attention with something. You got 2 seconds to make it work. And, we've always been very value driven. Like I joked about, I had a podcast with the Wall Street Journal, and they were very anti new media over there. And so they were, poo-pooing TikTok. And I was like, oh, we try to be the broccoli of TikTok, it's just like, there's a lot of junk food, and we want to, help people. If you're only going to see one piece of content, I'm going to try and help your business with that one, so like that, again, saves and shares, like that's a guiding principle. But in terms of like format, like if you're going for reach and you're going for like new follows, optimize for, a broader, like entertain and make sure the hook is on point, but entertain. And then beyond that, then you can get into let's do, here are the 4 things I'd change if I was solving this problem, know? And so you start nurturing there, where it's like, you can actually get in and change a business with, the right 8 pieces of content. And once you do that, if you've got something to sell them, it's like, yeah, for sure. I mean, I watched 8 fucking TikToks and this guy, increased my revenue by 20%. So whatever you got, like, let's go to the next thing. What's behind the pay gate? So I would say approach it like that. Like, it's okay. What, in buckets, it's like, what is this bucket trying to do? What is this bucket trying to do? And what is this bucket trying to do? And then it just goes back to what I said earlier, is you let the content or let the data be your guide. Where, when we first started on Instagram, my little sister, I posted my first post on Instagram, and my little sister texted me and said, hey, Jamie, you can't put the link in the post. You have to put link in bio. And go there. So it's like total rookie, right? And I spent the first like 3 months just like throwing shit against the wall. And then, but I would store all of the analytics on a spreadsheet. And then at the end of 3 months, I took the top 25 best performers and I made 5 versions of each. And then 3 months later, we had 100,000 followers on Instagram.
I love that. I love that you literally gave laid out experimentation with social, because that's something I think a lot of business owners, many of us are on there now, not necessarily, we use it as like a way, like, well, I have to keep showing up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mandatory thing. And I love that you're like, no, like the data is what tells the story. I'm going to lean in with curiosity and like actually figure out, okay, what's performing well and what's not. And that's the thing with social is, even when you take that time, even within those 3 months, and be consistent and determine whatever your consistency looks like, it can truly like pay off for you. And I love that you like broke down of like, okay, like we did this for a certain amount of time, took the top 25 posts and made 5 versions of that, and let's see what happens. And it grew your business. I
would contend that anybody that did that would see success. Like, obviously to varying degrees. But it is literally like that cut and dry. And we recently shut down our video business, and we opened up a social media strategy firm, and we're doing B2B social strategy. And we're just, that's like it's that easy. Like, it's like, it's a piece of cake offer, because it's just like, cool, we'll make some content. And like, and we get our, we kind of deputize our clients to the effort. Like, hey, like, you're not going to see the needle move on any of this for 3 months, but we will. Like, just, like we're collecting very important information. Just let us do our thing for 3 months, and then next quarter we're pulling back the arrow. Next quarter we get to fire. And it hasn't not worked yet. Like, it's literally like, it's just, why wouldn't it? It's not. All these social networks want you to succeed. They're rooting for you. It's like they're trying. They're giving you everything it can. Like, Instagram's giving you new analytics every week. Now you can see the exact moment in a video when somebody hit like. Like, that was the newest thing that came out, a couple weeks ago. Like, it's cool. Like, cool. Wherever the likes go, those are our new hooks. That's the next batch, right? Like, so it's a game of data collection, and and just putting raffle tickets in the hat. Honestly, the more you put in, the more likely you are to get your number called.
And that consistency piece is what's going to really like push you forward. And so for you, what systems are you having like where you're able to establish that consistency? I think that's a main thing a lot for business owners, freelancers, that consistency piece, because some people don't make social a priority where they're wanting to really truly experiment like that. Like, how have you established that consistency?
That's interesting. I mean, yeah, first, if you're not making it a priority, you really should. Like, I know, like, I hate to be that guy, but like, you really should be. Like, it's just so many people have like asked me that question. It's like, do I need to be on social? It's like, no, you don't need to be on social, but like, it's like running with a weight vest. Like, it's such an asset, like, especially if you use it in the way that we're talking about, you know? But yeah, I mean, I think with like anything else, you know, without a goal, you can't score. So set your goal for, you know, the next 3 months, and, you know, maybe a long-term next 6-month goal, and, you know, make it attainable. But like, you know, okay, every morning I'm supposed to wake up and do this because I'm trying to achieve this, you know, data set by 3 months from now, you know, and set your lead and lag indicators. You know, so it's like your lead indicators. It's what input did I do each day, each week? Check. That's Jerry Seinfeld with the calendar, right? He had to sit down and write for, 15 minutes every day or something, and he'd put an X on the calendar the next day. So those are your lead indicators, and then lag indicators is what happened, what came out the other side of the machine. You know, did the thing that I thought would happen? Yeah. No. Okay. Well, let me go back to what my input was. Where did I go wrong? Like what worked, what didn't, what needs to be swapped out for next week, you know? And I'm talking about a 15-minute process here. You know, like, this isn't like you got to make time for this. It's like, no, like, sit down and have this 15-minute meeting with yourself each week. And then in terms of creating the content, you know, batch, components of it. Right. Pre-production, production, post-production, where you just, you know, on Mondays, you write. On Tuesdays, you edit what you wrote. On Wednesdays, go film it or turn it into a carousel. And on Thursdays, edit it, spruce it up. And on Fridays, throw it on the scheduling app.
You're like, it's not as complicated. And I know people who, like, that's literally their batch week. Like, they have 1 week out of the month where that is all they do is just batch the content, and then it's scheduled. And like, however it works for other people, but people are like, okay, no, I have batch week. So like, they are preparing everything for this specific week.
It's a heavy week.
Because it's a heavy week. They won't take any other meetings, nothing. It's just batch week that whole week to get everything up and running. So I think it just goes to like whatever works for you, but just being able to establish that consistency.
You could do batch week, or you could do that for an hour and a half a day. And you will amass twice as much as batch week got if you do that every day for, you know, like it's just, you'll get better at it. You'll get quicker, you know. And then the other thing is that you're amassing, you're building a library of assets. Like, do you think that the 25 viral videos that do you think I never posted them again? Like, of course, those things.
Oh, you're repurposing.
Oh my gosh. There's one video that I've probably posted 45 times.
You're like, it's bound to go viral again.
It's every time. It's good for 1 million views, you know? It's like, it just speaks the language of social media. It just taps in somehow. And like, cool, we're going to post that as often as possible, you know? And like, the more, again, raffle tickets than I had, the more you do that, the more winners you get. You know, you stack them up, and then you just put those on the calendar, you know, sprinkle those in, because you still want to be running your tests on new content, and you still want to be showing up for your audience and addressing new problems that they have. But like, but yeah, I mean, over time, I mean, we've probably got 100 viral videos, you know, that just, and it's every couple days, one of them goes up, you know, and just keep it going.
One thing, obviously, too, like, as you're even collecting all of that data, like putting in that work into your social, like, you're still building community. You're still building, like, that is, I think, the biggest piece is that you're building a community. And so for you, especially as we talked about earlier, like, you building your offer in public, but as like, even with your social, what is something that your community has given you?
Oh my gosh. It's incredible the conversations that I have with people. Like, so I think that's what it is for me. It's the one-on-one conversations that I've had with freelancers, where they share, you know, their story. They share what got them into it. They share what's working for them, and they share what's really bothering. I get a lot of that. And none of them are defeatists. So what I love about freelancers is like, they're all like, I'm going to figure this out. I know it. I would just love it if you could help me get there a little quicker than I could on my own. So we hash it out. I love having those strategy sessions with folks. And that's a pretty much the entire reason why we did the freelancing program was to get these people in a room together.
Yeah.
Like I'd always tell when somebody says, I can't afford, getting in there. I'm like, hey, there's nothing on the other side of that I'm not posting for free on YouTube right now. It's purely a community.
Yeah.
It's like, and it costs money because we got to pay people to run it. But it's a place where people, congregate and share insights, right? And ask questions.
Yeah.
And freelancers are G's, man. Like it's just cool to see them work for one another and connect. So I'm very excited. I mean, like I said, we're taking over. It's our time. Like we're going to be the majority of the workforce in a year or two, you know?
Yeah.
And not a lot of people are talking to us. And so that's great. We get to figure it out on our own, which is what we've always done anyways.
And as things are evolving for freelancers and like, especially with the workforce changing, what is one like major opportunity that you think freelancers are missing out on right now?
Major opportunity that freelancers are missing out on right now. I think this is tricky territory.
Okay.
It's the only topic that I will post on the internet and get pushback from.
Okay.
Get some angry DMs about. But AI. I mean, and I know it's so. I know.
Everybody's like, oop. Everybody's like giving a look like,
because I get it. Like I get that people are doing, because creatives specifically are like, it's like there's a lot of consternation there, and people are doing some nefarious things, particularly to the creative community with AI. Get it? Like register that, but it's here.
Yeah.
And people do nefarious, terrible, horrific things with the internet, but I use the internet to do really great things. And everybody in this room does too.
Yeah.
So it's like just because somebody else is abusing AI doesn't mean that you don't get to wield it for good, and wield it for the betterment of your business and for the betterment of the clients that you work with. So that's the caveat there. But AI itself, is like literally anybody who's come at me with an argument for why AI is, going to destroy their business, within 3 DMs, I've got them excited about how they're going to use AI to make more money than they've ever made. Because it's like any business owner, the same guy that, when Photoshop first came out, a lot of graphic designers were like, shit, that's it. Now any small business owner can just pop a floppy disk in a computer and make the poster, and they don't need me anymore. Turns out,
we still do.
The same small business owner that didn't want to learn how to paint doesn't want to learn how to use Photoshop. And I've had this conversation over ChatGPT because they're like, well, it's as simple as having a conversation. It's like, you think, directing an actor is as simple as having a conversation. Do you think that you're going to be better at it than Quentin Tarantino? Do you think you're going to get a better performance out of that actor?
Yeah.
Right? It all comes down to the input. It all comes down to the person. I played out a scenario on Threads the other day where it's like, client fires graphic designer. I'm going to figure out graphic design. Graphic designer says, or I'm going to figure out ChatGPT. Graphic designer says, cool, are you going to do it on your own? Because I got some courses I can send you. Client says, no, I'm going to hire somebody who knows how to write good prompts. Okay, cool. Who are you looking for? Well, somebody who's probably well-versed in ChatGPT and like really understands graphic design. Graphic designer, cool. Hire me back. I got literally that's the way it's going to work. It's going to play out that way across every creative service. The problem is that the people that had a adverse reaction to AI and didn't get in it are going to have a really tough couple of years. And then they're going to have some serious catching up to do. And so, my hope is that if I keep having conversations like this about AI, I can convert many more to just like get in there and figure it out. Because like what's going to happen is you can 10x your output, right? Like everybody's going to win. You're going to be able to do 10 times as much work, and you're going to be doing 70% of what you normally do, and you're going to be charging 3 times what you normally charge.
Yes.
And your client is going to be thrilled about it because they're going to be getting 10 times the work and only have to pay 3 times more. Everybody wins, and that's the way it's going to play out. So it's just a matter of figuring out what that looks like for your offer.
Yeah, yes. I still feel like a lot of businesses are using AI, like in terms of like saving time, automations, but I still think we're not utilizing it enough where you're able to really make that impact, where it's like able to help generate revenue. And what do you what are some ways that business owners can start leveraging AI in that way?
I mean, there's so many ways. There's a couple different like ways to treat it, right? Because there's like AI. I think like probably the biggest, like the real coup is to treat AI like your co-CEO, right? Because it's like you could read, that stack of books in Ty Lopez's garage. You could read that stack of books, or you could just ask AI to hey, skim them over the next 20 seconds. And here's the thing I'm solving for. And I need you to act like a 7-figure analyst who's read these 7 books, who's worked with these 3 companies to this effect. And I need you to give me some real inside baseball suggestions here. Here's the problem. Like literally, this is the conversation. You lay it all out.
Yeah.
And you workshop what your business is going to look like 3 months from now with AI, right? And you just keep, yes-anding it. Like, okay, great. How do I use you to do this better? You'll try this, right? Okay, what tools are available to me, right? Blah blah blah. So I think that's the first big use case for AI is to use it as if it were your co-CEO.
Yes.
And you'll be pleasantly surprised at how illuminating that is. And then I think the second use case is clean up any spot in your process where you're the bottleneck. Suddenly, I mean, and obviously HoneyBook is really good at that.
Yes.
It's like I've made many a reel on that. It's just like any place where your business relies on you to be sitting in front of a desk doing busy work.
Yeah.
That gets the axe real quick, right? It's find the right app to handle that specific thing and take it off your to-do list for, frees you up to do the big stuff that, only you can do.
Yes. I think with both of those, like you can truly become a powerhouse of a business owner. And we had a guest come on a couple months ago, AI expert, and she talked about even leveraging AI for like buyer psychology, like determining buying patterns and
big
stuff
time.
like that, which was
big time.
That was eye-opening for me with as I'm like building my new offer. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm way off than what I originally thought it was. And that data has been just amazing and been like that foundation, almost that anchor for me as I'm like building everything out. It's just getting a better understanding of my ICP and their patterns and like how they understand things. And so like, again, to your point of how you can leverage it much so as that CEO, it really just helps give you that confidence as a business owner. So
it's amazing at pattern recognition and data analysis. And so it's like when we talk about letting the data be your guide and all the data you're collecting on what's working and what's not, dump that right into ChatGPT and say, literally we just this week opened the freelancing program for the first time this year as a subscription model. And I literally took I think we've had 5 or 6 launches of this so far. I took every best performing ad, every best performing story post, every best performing feed post, and I gave it all to ChatGPT and I said, tell me what the thread of commonality across all of these is. Give me a list of like 7 things. Why are these working when these other 400 pieces of content didn't work to promote this thing, right? Got a great document out of that.
Yeah.
And then it's okay, cool. Now what do I do with this information, right? If you're an elite marketer, what's your first look here? And it gave me some really cool, interesting suggestions, and then we have a big meeting about that, But yeah, that's what it looks like in the real world,
Yeah. Oh, I've loved this conversation so much. I feel like we've talked about everything. I could talk to you forever.
We'll just keep going.
I know. We'll just keep going. But I'm definitely we're going to do a quick rapid fire.
Okay, cool.
Are you ready?
Let's do this.
I'm going to keep it like at the top of your head. Don't overthink it.
Oh boy.
Give me your first thing that comes to mind. Biggest mistake you see freelancers make over and over again?
Not getting specific enough about their offer.
Okay. The hardest no you had to give as a freelancer?
Hardest no I had to give as a freelancer? I don't give many no's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. try to always find a way to say yes and but find the middle ground, find the compromise.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can say no as a freelancer. That's the,
like you can.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Okay. The biggest misconception people have about you.
That I am a master at all of this. I'm just a guy who's talking about it all the way. I just happen to be the one that's talking about it.
Yeah.
I'd say that, and also, unfortunately, I get roped in with some of the sales bros online that I actively try to keep myself at a.
Did you hear? He's not a sales bro.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
That's those guys, man.
You heard it first in the Unbreakable Business podcast. No, I love that though. I think like you even just talking about how you're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's like, I love that. I love hearing when experts are like, look, I'm on the same boat as you. Okay.
I'm the multi-million dollar sales coach. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, we're going to figure it out together. And I love that. I really do. Okay. The most unglamorous truth about freelancing.
Most unglamorous truth about freelancing? Gosh, it's so glamorous. You can take 2:30 naps on a Wednesday.
Yes.
You do whatever you want. I would say here's an interesting unglamorous truth is people that don't get it. That's the thing. That's a real thing. Mm-hmm. Until it starts really working, and then all your friends and family are like, let me talk to you about this freelancing thing.
And then they're like, well, I have a business idea.
Oh my gosh.
I'm tired.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I'm trying to, no.
All the time.
Yes.
But yeah, it is. Like when you're getting started, a lot of people think that, and people that love you, that are concerned for you. And like, so you want to be, gentle with that. But a lot of people won't get it. And so you have to contend with, already it takes a lot of courage to do something like this. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't help when like your trusted loved ones are like, maybe you should not do this, So and you feel you just gotta kind of put the blinders on and just plow through that phase.
Yes. Okay. One decision that completely changed your business.
Starting an Instagram account.
Okay. If you had to start from zero tomorrow, what's the first thing you do?
I actually recently had to do that because we shut down our business and started a new one. Mm-hmm. And I would say I would pick a very expensive problem and make a solution to it. Because if you do that, everything else just kind of takes care of itself. Like, I mean, like if you've chosen a specific enough expensive problem, you know exactly where to go to get your leads. And then sales is as simple as like sliding the solution in front of the person with that problem.
Yes. Oh.
And because it's so expensive, you get to charge for it.
Yes. Oh, I have loved this. This has been fun. Every episode, we love to end with this question is, what does having an unbreakable business mean to you?
Oh gosh, what does having an unbreakable business mean? I would say it means having built something that is scalable and sustainable. Mm-hmm. Scalable meaning if this thing had to grow beyond you, it could. Doesn't mean it has to, but you've built it in a way where it could. And sustainable meaning are you going to be happy doing this for a while, right? Are you going to be able to chill? Like, are you going to enjoy this? Is this something that you like? If you can lock those two in, I think you're set. You're going to have a pretty good experience with this whole freelancing thing.
Yes, I love that. Both of them. Like, do you love what you do? But then also I always think of, always remind myself, we had a previous guest, Shay Cochran, she shared this of like, you're build the business that you want for tomorrow. Like that you want 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I think that's like such a great reminder with like what you just said of like, what do you want your future to look like and be making sure that you're building towards that. So
I love that. I love that because the decisions you got to make for that business are very different than the ones that you're probably making right
now. Exactly. Oh my gosh, this has been so fun. I have loved this conversation. You're like,
let's keep it going.
Let's just keep it going.
Shut the lights off.
We'll just keep chatting in the parking lot.
Here we go.
We'll just keep going. For those that want to connect with you, where can we find you? Where can we tap in?
All the places. Just find me. I mean, send me a DM on Instagram or on LinkedIn. The Jamie Brindle on Instagram. Jamie Brindle on LinkedIn. That's probably the quickest, the most direct path to me. And I'll see you guys there. If you can't tell, I like nerding out about this stuff. Yes. So we'll have a lengthy conversation, I can assure you.
Yes. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been like, the information has been so valuable. I'm super inspired. I'm like, I got work to do. We gotta go. But thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Yes. And for everybody tuning in, until next time. Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable Business. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs a little extra inspiration. Remember, no matter what life throws your way, you have the power to keep going, and your business can be unbreakable too. Until next time, keep building, keep growing, and stay unbreakable.